Good morning. Anushka is giving you the spreadsheet of attendance. Please write your attendance for today. As we'll begin our class, a very good morning to everyone here present. We are starting with paper 2 today, and paper 2 is a compulsory paper for you, which is titled Environmental Economics. Earlier it was an option, but now the syllabus is changed and it has become a compulsory paper. I have already put in the syllabus last night in your this thing group, WhatsApp group, and environmental economics again has 4 units. Unit 1 is basic concepts. So we'll start with this today. The basic concepts, that is introduction to environmental economics. Now you can write some lines and then we can discuss it. When we talk about environment, what does it mean? Like a definition of the concept of environment. It is taken by the French word environner. Environer, environner, which is a French word which means to surround. So that is the concept meaning of the word environment. It includes land, water, air, and their interrelationships with human beings, other living creatures, plants, and living organisms. Now, why the environment and the concept of environment becomes important is because environment provides basic services essential to humanity. Environment provides basic services essential to humanity, such as supporting life, supplying materials, energy, resources, minerals for production, such as coal, petroleum, crude oil, etc., which are necessary for the survival of the human beings. So that is why the environment becomes important. Then some concepts related to environment which you must know as a part of your basic understanding of this paper. The one of the term is natural resources. What are natural resources? Anything which we get from the physical environment, anything which we get from the physical environment to meet human needs, relates to natural resources. For example, you can say water, soil, coal, petroleum, animals, plants. They are all called natural resources which we get from the nature or the physical environment. Now, there are two types of natural resources which you must know. One is renewable sources. I have to get a new marker. Renewable resources, and the other is non-renewable resources. Renewable resources, and the other is non-renewable resources. Now, renewable resources are what? Just in one line, these resources are unlimited in quantity in the nature because they are renewable, they can be renewed, so they are in unlimited quantity in the nature, whereas non-renewable resources are not renewable, they cannot be renewed, or they get exhausted sooner or later. As the humans consume the resources, they are the resources which get exhausted and finish off. For example, renewable resources may, you can give the example of say air, water, solar radiation. They are renewable resources. And non-renewable resources, you can write about all the minerals which are in a limited supply. For example, coal, petroleum, gas, natural gas, and other kinds of minerals which are subject to degradation, which are subject to exhaustion with the use of resources. So this is how this gives you the basic understanding of the concept of natural resources. Then the other concept is ecology. Ecology also you must know. Ecology and economics share the same etymology. etymology. Etymology, which you call oikos, oikos, capital में लिखिएगा oikos, which wordly meaning is home, house. So ecology represents the study of our house, whereas in economics, oikos means, or ecology means, the management of that place or the house. So ecology is concerned with the balance between the physical environment and the organism environment. Physical environment, for example, soil, water, air, and organism environment, for example, animals, humans, plants. And that is why it is said that you must have studied in your lower classes, there is a chain reaction, and that is why we need plants and animals for our survival, and they need us. So that's a kind of interdependence between the various types of organisms. And if one vanishes or extinguishes, then it presents a threat for the survival of other organisms on earth. So that is why there has to be a balance. So ecological economists have tried to analyze the interdependence between the physical environment and economic activities. So that is the work of ecological economist, and that is why, since ecology and economics follow the same etymology, that is called oikos, or the house, which is concerned to the maintenance of the place or the study of our house. That is why it talks about the interdependence between the different types of organisms living on earth, and that is why the different ecological economists have presented their models to study the relationship between them. Another concept is ecosystem. Sometimes you must have studied somewhere that ecosystem is very important. इकोसिस्टम में हम अभी जिन लोगों ने उस दिन वेबिनार अटेंड किया होगा 12th को, दैट प्रोफेसर माटू हु केम फ्रॉम बॉम्बे, शी टॉक्ड अबाउट इकोसिस्टम, दैट when you talk about sustainable development goals, then you have to talk about the ecosystem. So ecosystem is a term applied. Ecosystem is the term applied to a particular relationship between living organisms and their environment. And ecosystem has two components: abiotic and biotic. ABIOTIC, abiotic. And the second is biotic, BIOTIC. What is abiotic environment or ecosystem? All the non-living organisms of environment present in an ecosystem are known as abiotic components. And these abiotic components include inorganic and organic components of climatic factors. Abiotic components include inorganic and organic components of climatic factors. So this is called abiotic component in ecosystem. And biotic components are living organisms present in the environment are known as biotic components, which include plants, animals, and microorganisms. So this is how the ecosystem can be divided into components. One is abiotic and the other is biotic. All the non-living organisms will be included in abiotic, and the the living organisms are included in biotic components of the ecosystem. Now ecosystems can also be divided on the basis of ecosystem diversity. For example, terrestrial, aquatic ecosystem and terrestrial ecosystem. This is the classification on the basis of ecosystem diversity. There are different types of ecosystems present on Earth. So one is called aquatic and the other is terrestrial. Aquatic, as you can understand, it relates to the water, marine, fresh water. These kinds of animals and plants are covered under this, and the terrestrial are like the animals and plants which are on earth, so land. So that is why the difference between them is that way. So the classification of ecosystems is this. एक्वेटिक के थोड़े से एग्जाम्पल्स लिख लीजिए, because if they ask you in short note what are the different types of ecosystems, you can say that the major types or the diversity which we find in the ecosystem can be divided into two parts: aquatic and terrestrial. Aquatic में fresh water, then marine, coastal, mangroves, islands, थोड़ा ज्योग्राफी भी आता है इसमें, Freshwater ecosystems are highly productive with rich biological diversity like lakes, rivers, reservoirs, है ना, they are all included in fresh water. Then मरीन में बीचेस की बात करते हैं हम, कोरल रीफ्स की बात करते हैं. सो एग्जाम्पल्स आर दे, you can just write the examples. Then coastal, India has rich coastal areas, Kerala, Karnataka, Goa, Maharashtra, Gujarat. So these are the coastal zones which you can talk about. Then mangroves. What are mangroves? MANGROVES. Mangroves. Mangroves are specialized communities inhabiting zones of sheltered and subtropical coasts. And mangroves are of two types: swampy mangroves and tidal mangroves.
Can you please repeat the mangrove?
Mangroves are specialized communities inhabiting sheltered, low-lying, tropical and subtropical coasts. And the mangroves are of two types. One is swampy mangroves, SWAMPY, swampy. Swampy mangroves, which occur below the level of high tides, or the other one is tidal mangroves, which are submerged only by the spring tides. And these mangroves are the source of livelihood for the people living in coastal. That is the tidal mangroves. Tidal mangroves, which are submerged only by spring tides. SPRING, spring tides. And the mangroves are the source of livelihood or the survival for the people in Tamil Nadu, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. सुंदरबन डेल्टा के बारे में भी आपने पढ़ा था ज्योग्राफी में 7th और 8th क्लास में, है ना. ये सारे एग्जाम्पल्स हैं मैनग्रोव्स के. एंड देन लास्टली islands. So you can just write one line about what is island and say that island features relate to their volcanic origins. एंड आइलैंड की इकोनॉमी जो होती है उसका मेन सोर्स होता है टूरिज्म. सो टूरिज्म इज द मेन सोर्स ऑफ देयर इकोनॉमी, द आइलैंड्स इकोनॉमी. So this is about the first type of ecosystem which is called aquatic ecosystem, जिसके ये subdivisions मैंने आपको बताए. The second type of ecosystem is terrestrial ecosystem. Terrestrial में भी आप ऐसे ही classify कर सकते हो. Like you can talk about deserts, number one, or you can just refer to some of the deserts and give it as an example. I'm not going into that because you have already studied all the deserts. Then mountains also you have studied in your geography. So it's not very important, but conceptually you should know that these are all forming our terrestrial ecosystem. So this is deserts, then mountains, then forests also you have done, and grassland. Around 10% of the earth's ecosystem comprises of tropical and temperate grassland. जिसमें you can talk about the primary consumers of grasslands and the secondary consumers of grasslands. प्राइमरी कंज्यूमर्स में जो ग्रास खाते हैं, जैसे काउज है, बफेलो है, गोट है, रैबिट्स है ना, यू कैन टॉक अबाउट दैट. एंड सेकेंडरी कंज्यूमर्स में जो एनिमल्स इन्हें खाते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल फॉक्सेस, जैकॉल, स्नेक्स, फ्रॉग्स, लिजर्ड्स, बर्ड्स, ये आपके सेकेंडरी कंज्यूमर्स हो गए, बिकॉज दे आर नॉट डायरेक्टली रिलेटेड टू और डिपेंडेंट अपॉन द ग्रासेस एंड द shrubs and the trees. So this is about the ecosystem which we talked about. So this is another concept which is important here. Then we come to the relationship between environment and economics, which gives us the basic concept of the paper which you are going to study here, which is environmental economics. Now, what is the difference? You must understand the difference between economics and environmental economics. Economics में जब भी हमने definition की बात करी, we started with Adam Smith, if you remember, in first year, and he was of the opinion of laissez-faire policy, and he talked about the market mechanism to be dominant and let the market forces left free to operate. That was his contention. And as soon as you leave free the market forces to operate, the demand and supply will automatically adjust the prices and create an equilibrium price in the market. So that is how the market mechanism played a dominant role in the case of economics, and that is why all the economy revolves around that. But when we talk about environmental economics, we are mainly concerned with the economic growth, the economic development taking place, the industrial production taking place, the industrialization happening, and at the same time the environment is being exhausted, the natural resources, the non-renewable resources are exhausted, the pollution is created, the climatic change occurs. So these are some of the environmental problems which occur at the same time when you talk about the economic development or the economic growth or the industrialization taking place. And that is why this new area of interest emerged, that how to study those externalities. Externalities एक word आप note कर लीजिए which is very important in this paper. EXTER, external लिखिए. Externalities, that means the effects of the projects, the positive effects as well as the negative effects. So externalities may be of two types, positive externality and the negative externality. तो कभी भी कोई भी बिजनेसमैन जब कोई इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोजेक्ट शुरू करता है तो उसको ये कंपेयर करना चाहिए कि उसकी पॉजिटिव एक्सटर्नलिटीज़ क्या हैं और नेगेटिव क्या हैं. And suppose the negative externality, that means the pollution, for example, if it is created in much higher quantity in the neighborhood areas, है ना, so in that case जो उनकी इल इफेक्ट होगा उनकी हेल्थ पे वो आउटवे कर जाएगा आपके जो इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्शन से जो भी इकोनॉमी को पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है. दैट इज़ द बेसिक थिंग विच वी वांट टू स्टडी हियर, दैट कॉस्ट बेनिफिट एनालिसिस. कॉस्ट क्या है कि आपने जो भी उस प्रोडक्शन से जो पोल्यूशन या जो ग्लोबल वार्मिंग, इस तरह के जो भी इश्यूज हम एड्रेस कर रहे हैं एनवायरनमेंट से रिलेटेड, अब आज के समय में तो बहुत ज़्यादा अवेयरनेस हो गई, बट थोड़े दिन पहले जब से ये ब्रांच शुरू हुई पढ़ाई में, तब हमने यही कोशिश करी ये समझने की कि ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है कि हम लोग तो इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्शन बढ़ाते जा रहे हैं, बिकॉज इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट का एक कोर एजेंडा है इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन, पूरा इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन उसी पे बेस्ड था। नाउ व्हाई इट इज़ सो कि जैसे जैसे हम ये इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट करते हैं, ज़्यादा रोड्स बनती हैं, ज़्यादा कार्स आ जाती हैं रोड्स पे, है ना, ज़्यादा इंडस्ट्रीज सेटअप हो जाती हैं, सो ऑटोमेटिकली इट क्रिएट्स मोर एंड मोर ग्लोबल वार्मिंग एंड पोल्यूशन, and it is creating a hazard, health hazard on the people and their health, so automatically their economic efficiency is going to be affected. तो अगर हेल्थ पे जो इफेक्ट आ रहा है वो ज़्यादा है और ज़्यादा ख़राब है in comparison to setting up of your industry, then automatically it's not advisable for you to start that production. और अब इसीलिए गवर्नमेंट से लाइसेंस लेना ज़रूरी होता है, आपको पूरा प्रोजेक्ट दिखाना होता है, तब गवर्नमेंट से परमिशन मिलती है, तभी आप सेटअप कर पाते हो। और लखनऊ में ऐसी बहुत सी इंडस्ट्रीज थी जो बंद भी हो गई बिकॉज ऑफ दिस रीज़न। So that is why this is a very interesting and a very important paper nowadays, because everyone is talking about environmental issues, and even Malala Yousafzai, you must have read about her. So UN agenda is mainly on these issues. तो इस पेपर को थोड़ा ध्यान से पढ़िएगा क्योंकि ये पेपर आपको आगे ले जा सकता है। So that is why this environmental economics talks about the ill effects of the projects on the environment. So that is the difference between economics, pure economics, which we studied, and the environmental economics, and that is the difference between the positive and the normative economics also. पॉजिटिव इकोनॉमिक्स की ब्रांच आपने फर्स्ट ईयर में पढ़ी थी कि व्हाट इट इज़ लाइक, हम अगर कह रहे हैं कि नहीं हमें एम्प्लॉयमेंट बढ़ाना है, हमें इनकम बढ़ानी है लोगों की, हमें पॉवर्टी लेवल कम करना है, ये एक फैक्ट है, एंड टू रिमूव दीज काइंड्स ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स वी विल हैव टू सेट अप मोर इंडस्ट्रीज. नाउ द गवर्नमेंट इज अगेन टॉकिंग अबाउट एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर टू बी गिवन अ टॉप प्रायोरिटी, बट अर्लियर ऐसा नहीं था, हम एग्रीकल्चर पे उतनी बात नहीं कर रहे थे जितनी इंडस्ट्रीज पे कर रहे थे. लेकिन वाई this sector has gained, this issue has become so dominant now that the government is again rethinking about that agenda कि हम इंडस्ट्री सेटअप करके कितना एम्प्लॉयमेंट दे सकते हैं और उसका आफ्टर इफेक्ट कितना ख़राब होगा या नहीं होगा, ये चीज़ें भी हमको सोचनी पड़ेगी. तो वहाँ पे जब आप ये इन दोनों डिफरेंस की बात करोगे तो एक बैकग्राउंड आपका जो इन्वायरमेंटल इकोनॉमिक्स का बनेगा, जिससे कि आपका रियल ये पेपर शुरू होता है कि व्हाट इज़ इन्वायरमेंटल इकोनॉमिक्स और व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड बाय इन्वायरमेंटल इकोनॉमिक्स. बिफोर गिविंग द डेफिनीशन ऑफ दिस कंसेप्ट बाय एन इकोनॉमिस्ट, यू मस्ट प्रोड्यूस अ बैकग्राउंड दैट वाई वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस. तो उसमें आप यही डिफरेंस बताइएगा कि इकोनॉमिक्स जो प्योर इकोनॉमिक्स होती है और जो पॉजिटिव इकोनॉमिक्स होती है, कि मतलब हम व्हाट इट इज़, व्हाई वी आर डूइंग दिस एक्टिविटी, बिकॉज इट इज़ प्रोड्यूसिंग मनी, इट इज़ प्रोड्यूसिंग प्रॉफिट. Capitalists are not interested about anything else, they are interested about their own profit, and that is why they have set up this industry. That is called positive economics. But when you talk about environmental economics, this is a normative economics. That means it should aim at the welfare of the people. It should be, it ought to be like this, not it is. हमें फैक्ट पे बात नहीं करनी, हमें कैसा होना चाहिए उस सिचुएशन पे बात करनी है. अगर कोई भी इंडस्ट्री जो है वो ऐसी सेटअप हो रही है जिससे इतना कार्बन एमिशन निकल रहा है कि जो आसपास के लोग हैं उनकी हेल्थ इफेक्ट हो रही है, उनको कॉफ पैदा हो रहा है, उनका हेल्थ ख़राब हो रहा है, तो इस केस में आपको वो जो इंडस्ट्री है उसको बंद कर देना चाहिए. जैसे आपने सुना होगा भोपाल गैस ट्रेजिडी के बारे में, या अभी थोड़े दिन पहले भी एक ट्रेजिडी भुवनेश्वर में हुई थी. सो वेन एवर दीज इंडस्ट्रीज आर सेटअप, वी हैव टू थिंक अबाउट दैट कि वो जो एमिशंस हैं जो इंडस्ट्रीज से निकल रहे हैं, जो एफ्लुएंट्स निकल रहे हैं, उनका कितना नेगेटिव इफेक्ट हो रहा है, नहीं होना चाहिए। ये चीज़ आप नॉर्मेटिव में पढ़ रहे हो कि नहीं, लोगों का वेलफेयर, लोगों का हेल्थ उससे अफेक्ट नहीं होना चाहिए। So that is, you form a background about the difference between economics and environmental economics, and then you write one or two definitions from your textbooks. Textbook की जहाँ तक बात है, I have already sent you the reading list also along with the syllabus. वन इज़ इंडियन ऑथर्स की किताबें हैं कुछ, जैसे कि यूजिन की किताब है, इसमें लिखी हुई है टी यूजिन। देन एम एल झिंगन की किताब है विच इज़ इंडियन ऑथर, so you can take any one of them. Plus I already told you that I have written this book on environmental economics by New Royal Book Company. I'll send you the photos of these pages also, so you can just combine them and write your answers, and you can get lot of material on the internet also on this topic. So what is environmental economics? Start with the background and then you write one or two definitions. फॉरेन ऑथर्स की भी किताबें हैं, जैसे कोलस्टैट की है, हैनले और वाइट है। देख लीजिए, अगर आपको समझ में आ रहा है तो यू कैन टेक एनी वन ऑफ देम, बट आई विल सजेस्ट कि आप एक कोई भी इंडियन ऑथर की बेस बुक ले लीजिए। आई थिंक दैट्स मोर देन एनफ, एंड देन यू कैन supplement it with the internet material and make your answer. I'll give you one definition by Charles Kolstad, Kolstad. Charles Kolstad has written a book on environmental economics. So what does he say about environmental economics? His definition within quotes you can write: environmental economics involves questions of environmental economics involves questions of excessive production of pollution by the market, excessive production of pollution by the market, and in the bracket, or insufficient protection of the natural world due to market failure. Due to market failure. Inverted comma closed. Now you can analyze this definition very easily. What does it talks about is environmental economics involves questions of excessive production of pollution by the market. मतलब when you talk about market to be dominant, डिमांड के हिसाब से अगर आपको सप्लाई बढ़ानी है in a country like India, then you have to have more industries being set up, and by those industries lot of pollution is emitted, so the production of pollution is taking place. So environmental economics involves around these questions, and or in other words, in the bracket you have written insufficient protection of the natural resources. That means the people, the economists are not capable of protecting the natural environment, the natural resources by way of pure economics. So environmental economics deals with that due to market failure. Now market fails in the case of environmental economics. Pure economics के case में market dominant होता है. Why market fails? Because here we are talking about welfare aspect of the people. We are not talking about demand and supply equilibrium here. We are talking about only those goods and services and their production, which is going to create more and more welfare for the people. So market failure relates to environmental goods and services, the environmental economics. So that's the basic difference. इसके केस में market fail हो जाता है, economics के केस में market succeed करता है because of demand and supply equilibrium. This is definition of environmental economics. Now next you have to talk about the subject matter, the scope of environmental economics. What do you study here? We start with the classical approach. First one, classical approach is also called natural resource scarcity approach. Natural resource scarcity approach. And in this you can mention the name of an economist, Robert Malthus. Malthusian theory of population is very famous. आप अपने फर्स्ट पेपर में जहाँ हिस्ट्री ऑफ इकोनॉमिक थॉट पढ़ाया जा रहा है वहाँ पे अभी ये थिंकर के बारे में पढ़ोगे, माल्थूजियन थ्योरी ऑफ ग्लट एंड पॉपुलेशन. तो जो माल्थस थे उनको आप क्लासिकल इकोनॉमिक्स में कंपेयर रख सकते हो. एंड ही टॉक्ड अबाउट द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ नेचुरल रिसोर्स स्कैरसिटी. As I already told you that there are non-renewable natural resources also which are gifted by the nature, and many of them which are gifted by the nature and they are not renewable, they are become scarce in relation to our demand, and that is why there is the mainly this problem which we deal with. What he said was, population has this constant tendency. What he said, population has this constant tendency to increase beyond the means of subsistence and thus humankind is confined in room by nature, and thus humankind is necessarily confined in room by nature. It means that if the pressure of increasing population continues in relation to food supply, then human life is destined to be miserable. Are you getting me? Malthusian theory of population says in simple word that food supply grows in arithmetic progression and population grows in geometric progression. अभी आप उसमें पढ़ रहे होगे अपने स्टैट्स वाले में जीपी और एपी सीरीज. सो अर्थमेटिक प्रोग्रेशन सीरीज में क्या बढ़ता है हमारा? फूड प्रोडक्शन 1 2 3 4, और जो पॉपुलेशन है वो बढ़ती है ज्योमेट्रिक प्रोग्रेशन में, that is 2 4 8 16. So automatically the population is growing at a higher rate than the increase in the food production, and that is why this is a problem there. Like it is, if the population pressure is going to continue like this and the food supply is going to grow in arithmetic progression, then the human life is destined to be miserable. And that is why all the governments who ever have come into power is talking about the population control measures being taken by the population, how to control the population, how to check up the population growth rate. These are some of the issues which we always deal in the population policy of India also. So this is how you talk about the first approach, which is the subject matter of environmental economics, which is called resource scarcity approach, in which you can mention Malthus' name. You can also mention J.S. Mill in the classical economists. J.S. Mill ने भी स्कैरसिटी नेचुरल स्कैरसिटी रिसोर्स अप्रोच को डिफाइन किया था नॉन रिन्यूएबल मिनरल रिसोर्सेज से, कि देयर आर सेवरल मिनरल्स. For example, I already told you coal, petroleum, है ना. So they are all non-renewable and they are limited in supply. So automatically there is a scarcity. of these resources. So environmental economics studies about them and talks and gives you the solutions of these problems. That is one of the importance or the subject matter or the scope of this paper which we will be studying here, that is called natural resource scarcity approach. Then the second approach is Marxist ecological approach. Karl Marx was also an economist and a sociological thinker also, एंड इनकी बहुत ही फेमस किताब है दास कैपिटल, दास कैपिटल. एंड कार्ल मार्क्स वाज अगेंस्ट कैपिटलिज्म. He said that there is a wide disparity between haves and have nots, and that is why there is a capitalist is always interested in their own profits, and even at the cost of oppression and exploitation of the labor class. So Karl Marx divided the whole economy into two classes. One was the capitalist or the haves class, like Ambanis and Tatas and Birlas, and the other is socialist class, the labor class, the have-nots class, who is just the contributor in the production process, but they don't own the means of production. So capitalists own the means of production, and the labor class does the work for them. So there is a disparity between them. So Marx talked about that the forces of nature are appropriated as agents of labor only by means of machines and only by the owners of machines. Or in other words, you can say the mechanical means or the methods leads to man's exploitation of nature to his own interests. Man's exploitation of nature, I'll just repeat it. The forces of nature are appropriated as agents of labor only by the owners of machines, or in other words, the mechanical means or methods lead to man's exploitation of nature in his own interests. Similarly, Engels, Engels, Engels also expressed his views on economic growth and environmental crisis. And he was of the opinion that economic growth need not disturb man's harmony with nature. Economic growth need not disturb man's harmony with nature. We will continue this in the next class also, with the subject matter and importance of this paper. Continue with this, and then the material balance model. So all of you now start giving your end attendance on the spreadsheet. If you want to have any question, you can ask. I have already put in the timetable for you also on the group, WhatsApp group. So whenever you have paper 3, then you can start attending your simultaneous classes of statistics and industrial economics. Otherwise, the first 2 papers are compulsory. So is it all right? I think all of you have understood up till now what we are trying to say in the basic introduction of this paper. Say yes. or write yes so that I can leave the meeting. Okay. Okay. Thank you.